Valentine, 1950. The United States defeats England in the World Cup. 1994. The World Cup is played for the first time on American soil. 1996. Major League Soccer starts a new era of pro soccer in the U.S.
Don't you wish there was somewhere to talk about it? Every Thursday night at 9 Eastern, soccer fans finally have their voice.
National Soccer Radio.
Hosted by J.D. Smith and energized by chataboutit.com. Live every Thursday night at 9 Eastern.
It's National Soccer Radio.
You're listening to Chat About It. Politics, business, sports, and entertainment. When it's time to chat, go to chataboutit.com.
So much media. That would be me. This is Bob Andelman, and this is a Mr. Media interview. You know, MrMedia.com, MRmedia.com. Come on by and check it out. Brought to you today on iPhones, Android, Palm, and BlackBerry by the Stitcher app for mobile devices. Also available by subscription for free on iTunes. Mr. Media is also sponsored by thepartyauthority.us. Planning a wedding, mitzvah, or corporate event? For any and all occasions, call the Party Authority nationwide at 1-800-DIAL-DJs. That's 1-800-342-5357. One call does it all. So where was I before the commercial? Oh yeah. Mr. Media is recorded live from St. Petersburg, Florida, the new media capital of the world and hometown of the world's #1 biggest loser, me. Hey, who wrote that? Man, I gotta change my password. Although an admitted reality TV junkie, I have pretty much resisted the whole Biggest Loser phenomenon. The name of the NBC show turned me off from the start, and the one time I did watch it, I felt manipulated by the editing. Oh, look, the pounds are falling off that woman. I feel so happy for her. Oh, look at that fat dude. He's getting verbally assaulted by his trainer, Jillian, because she thinks he's not working hard enough. I feel so bad for him. Oh no, he just had a heart attack and died live on network TV. Okay, I don't think that last thing ever happened, but it does seem inevitable, doesn't it? Okay, so why am I about to interview Phil and Amy Parham, the 2008 winners of The Biggest Loser Season 6? Well, it doesn't hurt that they have a new book and DVD, the 90-Day Fitness Challenge, to promote, of course. But I was also told that they're nice, down-to-earth folks. And from what I've learned of these South Carolina Realtors, it seems like they have a good story to tell. Now, if you're not a regular viewer of the show, here's a little clip to bring you up to speed on the Parhams. Video? Okay, I'm going to keep talking for a minute. We'll wait for the video. This is a video, I think it's from CBN, the 700 Club. Okay, we're going to roll it now. Here we go.
As the drugstore cowboy. We want to avoid. That is, unless you've got something to lose. Phil and Amy Parham were obese. At his heaviest, Phil weighed 340 pounds.
Guys in the booth?
229. Philip had never seen the weight loss reality show, but Amy was a big fan.
I would sit and watch The Biggest Loser and cry and eat ice cream and think, oh, I wish I could do that and change my life.
Phil and Amy met more than 20 years ago at a Bible college. To some degree, their weight was always an issue.
10, 15, pounds, that kind of struggle.
I think mine was mental. I always saw myself as a heavy person, so I always thought I was heavy, and really, in actuality, I was probably, like Amy said, 10 or 15 pounds above where I should have been.
Phil and Amy married in 1988, while Phil set out in business as a mortgage broker. His poor self-image drove him to succeed.
I wanted the big house. I wanted the big car. I wanted to look good in front of others so I could have a certain kind of self-esteem.
His long hours led to unhealthy eating habits and a gradual weight gain. In 4 years, Amy gave birth to 3 boys and gained a total of 70 pounds with her pregnancies. But Phil and Amy's weight wasn't their only struggle. In 2003, their youngest son, Rhett, was diagnosed with autism.
That, for me, was it was devastating as a mother because, you have dreams for your children. You want to see them, be the president, or you want to see them go to Harvard, or you want to see them, even just get married and have children.
Autism has no cure, but Amy poured all her time and energy on fixing her son. At night, she would binge eat to cope with the stress. That stress compounded when Phil's business partner left him and he lost his business.
It just was like everything that I felt like I had built got taken away. So it's kind of hard to go from the Mercedes to the pickup truck. It was really, really bad. We struggled to hang on to our house and to pay our bills.
Amy became depressed and even thought about ending her life.
There was a hole in the ceiling of like this one room. It's like a kind of a library type room. And you could see a beam through the, like there was a hole because it went up to the attic. And there was one day that I was laying there, I thought I could put a rope over that.
Phil and Amy Parham, welcome to Mr. Media.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, Bob.
Hey, guys, how are you?
Good.
Welcome to the show. So tell me how this conversation really starts. Honey, I've signed us up to appear on a network TV show called The Biggest Loser.
Well, what happened, it was a little bit of manipulation on my part. It's Valentine's weekend, and I told Phil, I said, let's go down to Atlanta for the weekend for Valentine's Day, and, let's go to a hotel, have a nice dinner, be, a more romantic getaway. And by the way, we're standing in a casting call line of about 600 other fat people and trying out for a reality show.
For 6 hours.
For 6 hours. And he was a good enough sport and loves me enough, I guess, that he went along with it.
I guess I was looking for my prize at the end. The hotel later.
I mean, you weren't offended by this at all, Phil?
No, actually I was a big American Idol fan. On Tuesday nights I would watch it, and then I would go in the other room and see Amy sitting there crying, and like she always tells the story, eating her ice cream. And
while watching The Biggest Loser. I was crying because I was manipulated by the editing on The Biggest Loser myself.
She was manipulated as well. But I would come in and I might watch a little bit of the way in to see who won. And I never really knew the concept of the show, which is something I always tell people. If you're going to go on a reality show, you should probably watch it first.
So at least you know the strategy behind it.
Yeah, because my strategy was to lose weight. And, I did that successfully, so. But, I was lost enough, and they gave me hope to be able to think that I could lose weight. So, I really wanted it from that. But, being a man, I was kind of prideful about it. And I just made fun of the whole thing, which is kind of funny. We were making jokes. I was making jokes the whole time, which got me noticed by the producers and the casting people. And I was just there having a good time, making jokes the whole time. So, maybe that was, I don't know. Everybody asked me, how did you get on the show? And
we have no idea.
We have no idea. They saw something, I guess.
I thought it was interesting that you said that. I think that was great advice about going on a reality show, to having watched the show before. We watched several seasons of Hell's Kitchen on Fox, and it was astounding to me how many people had clearly never watched the show and were just blown away by the chef's, brutal mouth and comments. And I thought, surely it's been on for 3 seasons now. You watched the show before you signed up, right?
Probably not.
Well, I knew that it was about losing weight, and ultimately for me, that's what I wanted to do. And I really am, to this day, I'm really excited about the fact that I got to do it. Had no idea how tough I had absolutely no idea. I was absolutely scared to death at the thought of a gym, at the thought of trainers, at the thought of bearing my soul and myself in front of Americans. But I knew that this was my opportunity to change, so that's what I did.
Now, tell people how big you guys were when you got on the show, and how did you get so big? Because I've seen before and after pictures of you, and I don't think the two of you were, so big at some point.
Well, I mean, I guess I'd like to say compared to Biggest Loser standards now, maybe 340 pounds is not that big, but for me at 5 foot 9 inches tall, I was carrying a lot of weight. So my biggest was about 345. I actually lost a little bit to get to weigh in at the show, which I guess that's not good strategy either. But I weighed in at 331 and finished up at 180. And Amy was 229. She's about 5 foot what? 4. Kind of smaller framed woman, and she weighed in 7 months later at 124. So almost half of our body. So compared to the 500 pounders that they have on there now, it's not as astounding, but it's definitely life changing.
But really what happened to us, we weren't overweight our whole lives or whatever. We were just, a little overweight, but I know for myself, I became obese after the diagnosis of my son with autism, because I actually turned to food to comfort myself during that time. I had no idea I just knew that I felt responsible to fix him or to help him in some way, and I was completely powerless really as to how to do that. And then, so at night, when he would go to sleep, and see, autistic children, they're all different, but with him, he was very destructive. He screamed a lot. He had limitless energy. He never took a nap. So I was all day putting out fires with him. And at night, when he would finally just pass out from exhaustion and fall asleep, I would sit on the sofa in a daze and just go, God, how did this happen to me? And I would just eat ice cream and watch TV just to kind of escape, I guess, mentally, what was going on in my life. And I know that because of that, and then Philip kind of enabled me in that, because he would call home at night and go, how was your day? And of course, every day was a challenge. And so, because
it was can I ask a question?
What?
I would call her and I'd ask, is it a Reese Cup night or is it a Rocky Road night? I would try to gauge her on the phone to know what I needed to stop by and pick up at the store. So. And
every night it was something.
It was a bribe, because I obviously wanted to come home from work and have a sweet wife, not a mean,
So anyway, during that process, I just ballooned to obesity, and he had already, struggled with the same thing. And so after we got some therapy.
I had been fat for 20 years, thank you.
Yeah. After we got some therapy and we got into our careers as real estate agents and all these things started kind of unraveling, we realized that kind of like our weight was really the last frontier that we needed to conquer.
We actually decided, whether it was on The Biggest Loser or not, that this was something we were going to start working on at that time. So, it was time for us. And, I guess they say in a way, it's like winning the lottery. We talked to a casting director a couple of days ago. So we just flew back from Los Angeles. We just went to the finale ourselves Tuesday night, and I talked to one of the casting directors, and she said she was excited about us putting our book out to talk to people, because she had 15,000 people herself personally for the last show that she personally talked to, and she said, it's like winning the lottery. We're only going to pick a few of them. Less than 20 people will make it to the show. So people look at it like it's their only hope, and we always want to tell them, no, it's not your only hope. I mean, it was what started our journey, and it's what helped us get started, but after that, we had to do it on our own, and we would have had to do it on our own anyway. They just gave us some of the tools and the resources, which is kind of what we're all about. We really feel empathy for people who are in that situation like we were.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of that, tell me why participating in televised weekly humiliation rituals was a good fit for you guys. I mean, it's not for everybody.
No, I think we kind of, we'd gone through so many things in our lives. My husband had lost his business, and then we had Rhett, and so you're subjected to public humiliation every day when you go to the grocery store with an autistic child, because you're going to stand out. So I guess we kind of lost all of our pride by that point. So standing in a sports bra in front of millions of people with our fat hanging out was just one more thing that, hey, might as well. It was going to help us,
I just kind of shut my mind off to the fact that I'm standing here with, with my fat, sweaty body, on this fake scale, looking at everybody, and bearing my soul. But I think that, honestly, you want to talk about it, Bob, a second? I tell you what, that makes such a difference because you decide in your mind, I never want to do this again. You talked about humiliation, but they really do humiliate you almost in a way to where, and
you realize how bad it is.
You realize how bad it is. Otherwise, you've just not dealt with it, and you've been a comfort eater. You've hidden behind this layer of fat, and now you've got to deal with it. So I think it's on purpose. Yeah. They do that. Yeah. It offends you at first, but then you realize the genius of it almost. That's almost the genius behind the show.
So what was the best part of being on The Biggest Loser?
For me, it was the fact that we got to conquer so many things that we thought were never possible. Like we got to climb mountains, we got to kayak in the Colorado River, we got to do challenges at Universal Studios in this big, huge water tank. And I mean, it was just like they would push you beyond where you thought you could go, and you would go there, and then you would just realize that anything's possible if you just put your mind to it, and if you go for it. Anything's possible. And so that was the best part for me, knowing that, I really learned that I was strong. Mm-hmm. I found my strength there, and that was the best part for me. And we all have it inside of us. It's just somebody's got to show you that you have it. And that's really kind of what we hope to do, through our book and everything, is to show people that strength is within you. You just got to tap into it, and you've got to believe in it, and it'll just take you places.
Yeah, if you think it's hard to run a race when you're skinny, do it when you're fat. You're carrying that much more weight around. They say every extra pound you have on your body is worth 3 to 6 extra pounds of pressure on your knees and your ankles and your joints. So we did it. And I think what Amy said, that would be for me the best part of the show, is just realizing how strong I am as a person. And if I can do this, if I can conquer this, because the show is tough because you're there and they're pushing you so hard while you're there, and they're kind of bringing out the best in you and the worst in you. But when you go home, a lot of people, if you watch the show, you'll realize a lot of people, the wheels fall off when they get home. But I was proud of the fact that we did it there, and then we just kept going. And we'll talk about it in other books that we've got coming out later, but I'll tell you the hard part's once you get there, once you've lost the weight, because we love a challenge, and we rose to the occasion, and the hard part kind of comes after, when you don't have the fat to hide behind anymore. So anyway, another story, but I think that would be the best part of the show for Amy and I, just them showing us what we were actually capable of.
Now, Phil, let's talk about the worst. Tell me about Jillian, the show's probably the feistiest trainer on the show. Now, she's quite easy on the eyes, of course, but oh my God, she's such a...
Right. She's terrible. She's scary, I tell you. For being 5'2" tall and 118 pounds or whatever she is, she's a little bitty thing, and she's a ball of fire. She's terribly... intimidating and scary. I actually had the privilege of working out with Bob for half of my time there, and then with Jillian, there was a whole strategic move where a girl moved me onto another team opposite Amy, so I actually got both trainers. And there's a really good, I know you guys got a lot of internet savvy people, so they should go to YouTube and Google Phil puking, and they'll get a really good idea. Wait. Huh?
Phil, we're ahead of you here. We're ahead of you here already, folks. Let's get a look at what happened to Phil when Jillian pushed him too hard. Here we go.
Go, Phil! Go! Phil, damn it! Go, head up. Jump, recover. We're gonna do this 10.5 times.
Oh, come on. That's just a Jillian workout. I mean, that's how they go. Welcome to the black team.
Okay, Phil, go.
No.
What?
I don't have the breath for it.
Buddy, 10 seconds.
I did a no-no, and I said I can't once, so there's something that triggers her when you say that.
Phil, get on the treadmill now. Now, Phil, get on. Phil, either throw up or get on the treadmill.
Okay, let me get throw up then.
Are you going to throw up? You're not going to throw up, Phil.
Yeah, that's throw up.
See, we're ready for you there.
I felt like you might be leading into something. But yeah, that's throw up. Before we run out of time, the other thing I wanted to ask you about is I was curious about your work as realtors in South Carolina. I mean, in my experience, the most successful realtors are pretty much they're headstrong, aggressive self-promoters, and they really have to be in order to set themselves apart in a sea of real estate agents, pretty much anywhere in America. But to that degree, I'm guessing that The Biggest Loser was probably great for business.
Well, I mean, we came back. It was funny because we came back. We sold, 64 houses the year before The Biggest Loser.
Our first full year in real estate, we became out of about 1,500 realtors in our town. I think we finished up the 20th or something. So we are those kind of people for sure.
But when we came back from the show, of course, the economy had taken a real turn, even in our area. So we had to kind of regroup and figure out, what other things that we could do. And
I've kind of cross-trained into another business already, and Amy still does real estate. So you're exactly right, though. If you're going to be a good realtor, people have to know about you, and you do have to self-promote. We didn't actually use the show the way we could have to really promote our real estate.
In real estate, because we were traveling and speaking and doing some other things after the show that took some of our time. But now we're into that, and we've also got the book coming out, and we're promoting that right now too. But
now we're shamelessly plugging the book everywhere we go.
I'll be happy to help you with that. I was just coming to that, as a matter of fact. Folks, listen, you can find Phil and Amy Parham's new book and DVD, The 90-Day Fitness Challenge, at great bookstores everywhere, or you can order them online at mrmedia.com, mrmedia.com. Now, can people find you guys online as well?
Yeah, we're actually in the process of putting a new website together, but we're philandamyfitness.com, and they can contact us through there.
And also Facebook. We have
Facebook. We're big on Facebook.
It's Amy Parham or Phil Parham, and then we have a fan page, Amy and Phil Parham fan page. So we spend a lot of time on Facebook these days.
we just got Twitter, and it's Twitter at Phil and Amy. So Phil and Amy at twitter.com, or however you say that, twitter.com/Phil and Amy. So we're all over the internet, and they can find us. And I think these people are going to be, I think folks who need to make a change in their life will really get something out of what we say, because we're not nutritionists, we're not trainers, we're not paid actors, we're just people who care about people, and we just really, we feel like we've got something that can really bless people and touch them and make, and if you see the book, it's changed a lot of people's lives already.
Yeah, we're just people that have been there. We feel like we can take them with us. So.
Well, Phil and Amy, and I know that you didn't mean to say that you were big on Facebook, because I don't think you're big anywhere right now. But thank you so much for joining us on Mr. Media today, and good luck with the book and the video and keeping that weight off.
No, thank you. Thanks, Bob. We appreciate you having us on today.
My pleasure. You guys take care. And folks, for more original interviews with your favorite reality TV stars, you can surf over to our main website, www.mrmedia.com. That's mrmedia.com. And you can now hear Mr. Media while you're on the go with Stitcher Radio. Stitcher is a free news and talk mobile application. The latest episode of Mr. Media is always available for you, no syncing needed, and no memory wasted. It's available for your iPhone, your Palm Pre, your Android phones, or your BlackBerry. Downloading is easy. Go to Stitcher.com or check out the App Store for your individual mobile phone. Subscribe to Mr. Media on iTunes and you'll never miss a show. Just search Mr. Media Interviews from within iTunes and subscribe for free. You can also listen with a piece of string and a tin can in many locations. If you've got an idea for a guest, email me directly at bob@andelman.com. And you can follow me on Facebook or Twitter, twitter.com/Andelman, or on Facebook, just look for Mr. Media Interviews. Thanks so much for joining us today. Always appreciate it when you give up a little piece of your day. Come spend it with Mr. Media. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.
Chat About It, the new interactive internet radio station of the future. Chataboutit.com.
Salagadoola, metricaboola, bibbidi bobbidi boo.
You must be your fairy godmother.